So there's one of only two possibles that I've come up with. Either one, he was told he's not getting a team, and this is his way of going, or two, he wants to leverage his way to getting a team, and the only way to get leverage is if you don't give me this team, I'm going to go out and form this other league that's going to be in competition with you. The problem is that by the time LeBron James' contract expires, say they start a new league, and he is the centerpiece of it. He'll be 41 years old, and he'll be playing against rummies, and it will diminish all the things he did in the NBA. LeBron has never cared about Laker fans or being a Laker. He clearly doesn't care about being a Miami Heat, and very likely doesn't care about being a Cleveland Cavalier and what all that represents, because he left there twice. And conducting such a meeting and allowing your agent with a firm that you started to tweet out that picture showing that you're trying to do harm to the league that has helped make you into a billionaire only shows that LeBron James cares only about the relationships of people he knew in high school, and that's it.
And again, by the NBA having so much power, much more than LeBron, especially in media, they can flip it and make LeBron James look a certain way. And if he has skeletons in his closet, I guarantee they'll start to cover LeBron James more than they did when he was in the league. LeBron has been protected in the media for many years. They try not to cover, the alleged stuff going on with LeBron. But I guarantee those alleged things with LeBron will be covered a lot more once he retires. Doug Gottlieb talks about LeBron James going against the NBA. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
There was this picture of LeBron, Maverick Carter, his agent, and Nikola Jokic, his agent, on a boat. And there's lots of what are they talking about? Is LeBron going to Denver? Is Jokic coming to L.A.? What's going on? Then, I don't know, it was yesterday or earlier today. I think it was yesterday. It came out that the conversation was in regards to Maverick Carter starting a league, some international league, where you have men's teams and women's teams, and it'll be like live golf only for the NBA. Like, wow, that's genius, right? Everybody takes an idea. But the bigger point is, obviously Live has made a lot of people a lot of money. It has broken through. They have partnered with the PGA. No one knows, what's going to happen to it in the future, but a lot of guys have gotten rich off it, and it's interesting. And they try and do the kind of rock and roll NBA introductions and try and spice it up, whatever. And golf, which can be seen as lame, is trying to be made cool by Live Golf. Whatever level of whether it's working or not working, it's still surviving, and guys are still getting paid, and so it's lasted this long, so it has worked. But I have a hypothesis that I'd like to share with you, and you tell me if it makes sense.
Yeah, as far as LeBron James, Maverick Carter starting this league, I think it's more toward Maverick Carter, but LeBron's going to be the face, even though he'll probably be advising Maverick in the background. Can this league rival the NBA? I don't think so. At the end of the day, are they going to get enough viewership? Are they going to be able to partner with streaming services? How are they going to air these games? Is it going to be like the big three? You work with a local network and see if you can get your games displayed. Can they get more traction than the big three as far as viewership? The WNBA, their viewership, can they, knock those out the park and be, 1A versus 1B with the NBA? That could be a play as well, but I just don't think it's going to be able to compete on the level of the NBA. Too much billions, too much owners. There's just too much money going on in the NBA. Unless LeBron James links up with a bunch of billionaires, that's the only way he's going to be able to get this league off the ground, but I don't see them competing with the NBA.
I think most people who watch and cover the NBA are familiar, and some people are not, that LeBron James has made it very, very clear he not only wants to own an NBA team, he wants to own a Vegas expansion team. Vegas expansion team. And many of you are driving along, you're sitting in your cubicle, you're listening to the DG show, maybe you're listening to us on the app, and you're like, yeah, I remember something about that. Okay, so I think, first of all, this meeting very easily could have happened in secret, and no one knows about it. Why would somebody take a picture and then put it out on social media? Because they want you to know it's happening.
Attention.
Right?
Got to get the marketing.
That's inarguable. I don't have to talk to somebody in LeBron's camp or Jokic's camp to know that the reason it was out on social media is they want you to know it's happening.
Yeah, obvious LeBron marketing play. He knew that that picture would make airways. Is LeBron going to the Denver Nuggets? Is he trying to recruit Nikola Jokic to the Lakers? But now that people really look back and be like, okay, Maverick Carter working on that expansion league, international. LeBron James, of course, is going to be the face of it. No one really cares what Maverick Carter is doing. But if LeBron James is attached to it and the wording, that's when you'll get more people involved. So it was an obvious marketing play on LeBron's part, and it actually worked. And a lot of the networks, they're covering this whole league going on with Maverick and LeBron James.
Why would they want you to know what's happening? Well, there's only two possible reasons. One, LeBron was told he's not getting a team, which is altogether possible, maybe even likely, because as deep as LeBron's pockets are, they're not that deep.
Nah, he ain't got that type of money.
They're not that deep.
Whole different ball game.
The LeBron being worth $1 billion, it sounds good. It's very likely to not be real because I'm sure a lot of it is tied up in Nike stock and in other stocks. Not that that doesn't count in terms of your evaluation, but I think a lot of it is based upon his personal brand, his personal value.
Yeah, LeBron would have to go liquid, sell everything, and probably just have about a couple $100 million, which is still great. But even if his name is worth, $1 billion and some change, you got to really have that type of money at one time to bring to the table. You can't just have that like, okay, let me go liquid, let me talk to Nike, try to cash out this stock. I don't think it's going to work that way with LeBron, but even though he ran up a great amount of money, shout out to him. But when it comes to owning a team, the money is way different.
Not how much actual cash he has or how many actual assets he has and whether or not those assets equal out to $1 billion.
Different ball game.
I remember NBA teams, we just watched the Lakers go for $10 billion. Billion.
Insane.
So I know NBA players, and LeBron seems to be the richest of them, but that pales in comparison to the guys that are in the financial markets. So there's one of only two possibles that I've come up with. Either one, he was told he's not getting a team, and this is his way of going, or two, he wants to leverage his way to getting a team, and the only way to get leverage is if you don't give me this team, I'm going to go out and form this other league that's going to be in competition with you.
Again, both of those scenarios seem more like what LeBron is trying to do. Like, okay, let me go ahead and egg the NBA on. If you don't let me become a part of NBA ownership, I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to work with Maverick Carter internationally, Nikola Jokic and his people, and see if I can build a league out that's going to rival the NBA. Even though I don't think it's going to work, I think the NBA may want to have LeBron James a part, of them for as much as possible, for as long as possible. But if he feels as though only way I'm going to be attached to the NBA is through ownership and they don't want to grant him that, then yeah, he's going to use this whole international NBA thing to go against the NBA and to rival them. I don't think it would be a good idea for LeBron James to go against the machine.
With the hopes of ultimately getting a team that way. That's the only two possible solutions I can think of, or reasons I can think of, why LeBron would not only have this meeting, having the meeting, you can take a meeting with anybody. But why do you want to take a picture of it? Why do you want people to know what it was about? Why do you want to know? Why do you want to include Nikola Jokic's agent in it? It's pretty obvious, right? That this is, I'm sure they're going to sell it as, this is our next step. This is what we do after we retire.
Of course, and by getting Nikola Jokic on board, one of the most, internationally known NBA players out there, what he's doing from his country, you get him on board. You get Giannis on board. You get, anybody that has connections with China. You get them on board. That's when you may see something there with this league that LeBron and Mav is building. But if it's just going to be LeBron and Mav and Nikola Jokic, that's good as far as getting it started off the ground. But I don't think it's going to be able to compete versus the NBA. And again, LeBron going against a machine, he's going to need a lot more than him and another player or two to make a huge impact. It'll make media headlines and waves, but it's only going to go so far if you're going against the NBA.
Is we own NBA teams. We force expansion into Europe by putting together teams in Europe, and then ultimately they join the NBA. Or maybe it's because we make them pay us. We make them give us a seat at the table. Or maybe it's an FU. The issue with any league outside the NBA in comparison to golf is golfers, outside of their sponsorship money, if they don't play well on Thursday and Friday, they don't get paid. They don't get to hang around for Saturday and Sunday. Whereas NBA players, they're plenty well compensated.
A lot of money.
And oh yeah, by the way, that money is based upon TV deals. And a new league wouldn't have enough teams, nor would it have the star power to have those big TV deals. And if the sale was, hey, we're going to launch with LeBron James, the problem is that by the time LeBron James' contract expires, say they start a new league, and he is the centerpiece of it. He'll be 41 years old. And he'll be playing against rummies. And it will diminish all the things he did in the NBA.
Yeah, he could go the Floyd Mayweather route with it, do these random exhibition matches, to the NBA. Nothing goes against his record, but it may have LeBron looking a certain way in the media when they start going through the GOAT debate. They may include what's going on outside of the NBA. And again, by the NBA having so much power, much more than LeBron, especially in media, they can flip it and make LeBron James look a certain way. And if he has skeletons in his closet, I guarantee they'll start to cover LeBron James more than they did when he was in the league. LeBron has been protected in the media for many years. They try not to cover, the alleged stuff going on with LeBron. But I guarantee those alleged things with LeBron will be covered a lot more once he retires.
It just will. That's the reality to it. Okay? It'll diminish what he's done in the NBA. And the last part, and maybe the most important part to it, that this is my takeaway, and it may not sit well with you, but I know it to be reality, which is LeBron has never cared about Laker fans or being a Laker. He clearly doesn't care about being a Miami Heat, and very likely doesn't care about being a Cleveland Cavalier and what all that represents, because he left there twice. And conducting such a meeting and allowing your agent with a firm that you started to tweet out that picture showing that you're trying to do harm to the league that has helped make you into a billionaire only shows that LeBron James cares only about the relationships of people he knew in high school, and that's it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. LeBron, he's selfish to a certain point, but as long as it has something to do with Maverick, Rich Paul, people that he went to school with, his business partners, yeah, he's going to lock in with them more than he would with the NBA, the Cavs, or any organization that he played for. So I understand what Doug is saying there. It makes sense.
That's it. If he cared about J.J. Redick and their relationship, he never would have allowed his agent to go public and say they're not a championship team. If he cared about the Lakers, he wouldn't do so many of the things he's done while being a member of the Lakers. We've discussed this. If he cared about being a member of the Miami Heat, he wouldn't have just left. Why? They played in 4 NBA finals. They won 2 of them. He's shown no value, nor has he ever claimed that as part, This is who LeBron is. It definitely tracks. He's somebody who doesn't actually care about anybody outside of his inner circle. And again, that's okay, with the exception of the fact that he desperately want to be loved by everybody and cared for by everybody, but those are really transactional relationships.
Yeah, LeBron, he tries to walk the fine line. He wants everybody to like him, but to a certain point, again, he's not going to say anything bad about Rich Paul, anything bad about Maverick Carter, which he shouldn't, but he's more aligned with them more than, the NBA and organizations, which I understand to a certain degree, but at the same time, the NBA made LeBron, and the NBA could break LeBron, so they'll make sure LeBron James doesn't have any ownership. They'll try to keep him out the NBA, and again, maybe this is LeBron James' beef with the NBA, the beginning stages. I'm sure he knows more about what's going on with his business dealings potentially with the NBA than what us know, the people, the content creators. So LeBron James is pretty much saying, you don't want me to be a part of the NBA? Ownership-wise, I'll go ahead and start another league to rival the NBA. But again, I don't think it's a good decision by LeBron to go against the machine. Hopefully skeletons in his closet stay kept away, because if they can find anything on LeBron James and he goes against the NBA, you're going to start seeing a lot of reports on LeBron James, stuff going on outside of the court.